It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as CM Punk was offered the chance to main event WrestleMania. We look at Adam Cole's recent contract demands, and we have further confirmation on Bryan Danielson's AEW debut. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first, FITE have today announced that AEW pay-per-views will now be available on their site for the first time ever in the United States. This includes this Sunday's All Out, which will air live at 8 PM Eastern. The purchase also includes unlimited replays, so if you buy the show, you'll have it there to watch as many times as you like going forward. The FITE app is available on numerous devices, and I've put a link in the description for my affiliate link if you're interested in helping support the channel with your purchase. The show is currently listed at $49.99 in the United States and $19.99 internationally. Following his return at Wednesday's AEW Dark Elevation tapings, Max Caster showed up once again before Rampage tonight for the AEW Dark tapings. On Wednesday, he merely interfered in the match between Anthony Bowens and Griff Garrison, but this time he not only worked a match, but also once again cut one of his famous raps. Caster's return follows a controversial rap which led him to being removed from AEW shows for almost a month, which was made reference to last night. His acclaimed tag team partner Anthony Bowens interrupted him midway through and asked if AEW were now scripting his promos. This was due to Caster saying some nice things about the company. Caster then started again saying he's going to be less offensive moving forward, then went on to say how small Sean Dean's peen is. The Acclaimed took on Dean and Robert Anthony in what appears to be the main event of the show, and it's certainly going to be interesting to see how recent events have affected Caster's rhymes going forward. The final entrant for this Sunday's Casino Battle Royale seems to have been revealed, and it's somebody nobody expected. During the aforementioned AEW Dark tapings, there was a match between Red Velvet and AEW newcomer Sky Blue. The Chicago crowd is said to have been heavily behind Blue, who works independent shows in the Midwest area. The fans were cheering Sky and booing Velvet throughout the match. Also on the AEW Dark Elevation tapings, Sky took on Riho, and this same reaction happened, with them cheering Sky and booing Riho. Following the bout, AEW President Tony Khan walked out to the entrance ramp and called both women over. Khan would then ask Sky if she wanted to be part of the Casino Battle Royale at AEW All Out, an offer she seemed to be delighted to accept. So far, 20 participants have been officially announced for the 21-woman match, meaning Sky would become the 21st and final competitor. The remaining slot was anticipated to have been kept a mystery, entering as the last entrant, referred to as the Joker. It's unknown if the match will instead see 22 wrestlers take part, or if someone will be taken out of the match in place of Sky, or if the full lineup has now been revealed. But let me know what you think will happen in the comments down below. We're just 2 weeks removed from the AEW debut of CM Punk, who made his pro wrestling return in front of a packed out United Center in his hometown of Chicago. It has now been revealed that whilst news of Punk's debut had leaked weeks prior, he in fact didn't sign his contract with the promotion until half an hour before AEW Rampage: The First Dance. Speaking to ESPN, Punk also revealed that he was in talks with WWE, presumably last year or potentially in January, as it was before the Royal Rumble, although the exact time frame wasn't specified. He revealed why talks fell through and said, "I remember one of the first things I ever said to them was, above all, don't play games. And they played games. Some things never change. When you enter a conversation with people you have a past with and you know who they are, how seriously can you take it? I know exactly who they are and they just continue to prove it. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I possibly can." Punk went on to suggest that the talks involved main eventing WrestleMania 37, with the return potentially happening at Royal Rumble. He added, "It's not all about money for me, because if it was, I would have probably been in the main event of WrestleMania this past year, or I would have been at the Royal Rumble." Perhaps I made that 10 AEW wrestlers that rejected WWE video a week too soon, which you should totally watch after this video if you haven't already. It seems that despite Roman Reigns saying that CM Punk doesn't move the needle, WWE value him enough to offer him the main event of WrestleMania. It's likely that the match would have even been against Reigns, but that is not confirmed. Punk then went on to address critics who have said he's only back for the money and added, Everybody is different, every situation is different. There's some people that don't like me, so all they're gonna hear is, oh, he's just doing it for the money. And I couldn't give a shit. The proof is in the pudding. Does it matter why I'm doing it? Do you really care? If you don't like me, don't watch. It's a perfect storm. It's got a lot of everything. It's the money, it's the freedom, it's the creative, and it's the possibility of working with young, talented people that excite me. And speaking of working with younger talent, instead of the Royal Rumble, Punk will be making his in-ring return at AEW All Out this Sunday, where he takes on Darby Allin in his first match in over 7 years. And did I mention you can now buy the show on FITE using our affiliate link down in the description if you fancy supporting the channel. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you drop a like on the video as it helps me out a lot, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head, hopefully, towards 100,000 subscribers. But now, let's press play on the video. On last night's episode of SmackDown, there appears to have been a tease that hints towards the return of Finn Balor's demon persona. In the main event, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns retained his title against Balor, who was attacked by Roman's cousins, the Usos, before the match. As the tribal chief made his way back up the ramp, the lights turned red and a heartbeat could be heard. This led to Reigns briefly stopping and wondering what had happened before continuing on to the back. While some have speculated that this will lead to the return of the Fiend Bray Wyatt, I think it's safe to assume that this is not the case. The sound heard was clearly taken from the beginning of Balor's demon music, which rules out this possibility. The demon persona hasn't been seen since Super Showdown 2019 in Saudi Arabia, where Balor retained his Intercontinental title against Andrade. It's unclear how this will play out in the storyline, with Brock Lesnar set to return next Friday, with the show being billed as Super SmackDown from Madison Square Garden. Many expect this to continue the build to Reigns versus Lesnar. And next we have an update on the Adam Cole situation, who is currently a free agent following the expiration of his WWE contract. Cole had been in negotiations to renew his WWE deal before it expired last week, and some details have surfaced over his demands. The former NXT champion is a keen Twitch streamer on the side, and is said to have made it very clear that if he was to sign a new contract, his Twitch account must be allowed to remain open. Last year, WWE forced all of their main roster talent to discontinue any activities on third-party platforms such as Twitch and YouTube, leading to wrestlers such as AJ Styles and Xavier Woods closing down their streams. Woods was allowed to continue his work on the Up Up Down Down gaming channel, however this is in fact owned by WWE, but the activity on his personal account was forbidden. Cole has been allowed to continue to stream due to him remaining in NXT, but WWE were keen to bring him to the main roster, with creative plans said to be in place. Under the current ruling, he would have had to stop using his Twitch channel. He has been adamant to his viewers that there is no chance the account would go anywhere, telling his fans this in mid-August. At the time, we did speculate that he would likely make this demand in the negotiations, and this seems to have been the case. WWE talent have been informed of Adam Cole's departure, and he currently has the choice of joining WWE's main roster, as well as a possible move to All Elite Wrestling or potentially elsewhere. It's likely that WWE didn't want to give in to this demand, as it would set a precedent for any future negotiations. There is still no word on what the future holds for Adam Cole, but he is certainly in a powerful negotiating position right now. And finally, a few days ago, it was reported by Bodyslam.net that Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan, will be making his AEW debut this Sunday at the All Out pay-per-view. The original plan is said to have been for Bryan to debut at the upcoming AEW Dynamite Grand Slam show, with plans changing due to concerns surrounding potential upcoming restrictions in the New York area. The debut was reportedly moved forward to ensure it happens in front of a full crowd. We now have an update from the Wrestling Observer, who are now reporting that multiple sources within AEW have confirmed to them that Bryan is indeed set for All Out, and if he's not there, it's due to a change of plans. This backs up the aforementioned Bodyslam.net report and adds further validity to it. This will be Bryan's first appearance since April 30th, where he lost on SmackDown to Roman Reigns in a career versus title match. This led to him being banished from the blue brand. Whilst the debut is public knowledge, the way he will debut remains a mystery and will keep fans guessing throughout the night. And make sure you stay tuned throughout the next day and a half leading up to the pay-per-view, as we bring you the latest breaking news as we enter the final countdown. And make sure you check out my video where I discuss 10 times that AEW wrestlers rejected WWE, including Bryan Danielson and the Elite.